Today, I'm excited to cover an important topic beyond AI, liberating your data, unlocking your potential. You'll see my focus is on the real value that AI systems can provide, and most importantly, the data and insights that power it all. And as such, AI and machine learning can be as intelligent as the rules and data behind it. This is the first picture that was taken of Earth in 1969. And when astronauts returned back to Earth, they were asked, what was the most amazing thing you saw while you were in space? They all said that the most amazing thing they saw was the blue marble, planet Earth, that they saw from space, and it was the most amazing thing. So we have the obligation to protect our planet Earth, and safeguard its valuable resources and make sure we do not squander these resources and instead preserve them for us and for our future generations as well. However, we are an urban species, meaning that more than 60% of the world's population lives in cities and urban areas, which puts a lot of stress on the man-made and natural environments. The combination of the natural world and the human footprint resulted in many complex urban and environmental problems. Climate change and pollution usually go hand in hand, and these problems are all too familiar. We have exponential population growth beyond our development and infrastructure capacity, social and environmental conflicts, air pollution, water pollution, climate change, urban sprawl, and the list goes on and on. In my lifetime alone, the Earth population doubled, going from 4 billion to 8 billion today. So we are being challenged today on a whole new biblical scale, both locally and globally. And of course, we now have the COVID-19 pandemic that spread so fast and created a new economic reality around the globe. It altered employment markets, it changed customer and consumer behavior, and it created new competitive patterns. This impacted us in many communities and at all levels of government, and it opened our eyes to a whole new norm. So, this is the canary in the coal mine, and it's also a warning sign that we need to do more to protect our planet. These issues we face today are related to the social, environmental, and economic aspects. So we really need to solve not just the symptoms of these problems, but also the root causes of these problems. So what do we need today? We need a greater knowledge of our environment and our relationship with it, and awareness of how to protect its valuable resources through conservation of nature. We also need efficiency and sustainability and effective policies that promote renewable and low carbon energy. We also need comprehensive planning that takes into account all key aspects that impact our lives. To do that, we need collaborative action by involving all parties and fostering a shared vision and being able to translate this vision into concrete action, thinking globally and acting locally. Technology can help. Today, cutting edge technology is advancing so quickly, empowering new emerging trends. These trends are related to both technology and industry trends. And I'll be showing a few examples of some of these trends, such as smart cities, AI and machine learning, digital twins, research and innovation, water sustainability, and sustainable economy. The application of AI and machine learning in particular has a great potential to provide a successful model of how we can build a thriving economy that's also environmentally friendly. But it all starts with data. We have a lot of data. We have 2.5 quintillion bytes of data that is being generated every single day. 90% of the data that we have today is generated in the past 2 years alone. And we made big data even bigger with smartphones and all kinds of sensor fusion. We have over 7 billion smartphones, and they all generate data every single day. So, given its market size or sizable market, as you can see, big data is a big opportunity for us to leverage today. The question is, how can we leverage this data to make our lives better? Data can enable deeper understanding of the world, our customers' needs and behaviors, leading to better satisfaction and loyalty. It can also inform better business decisions to drive profitability and sustainable growth. But there are three questions that we need to consider here. One, how accurate and authoritative this data is. How is it managed and where is it stored? And finally, how can it be used? Answering these questions will help us liberate the data and make good use of it, as we'll see here in some of the examples that we'll cover today. So this is the AI development hype cycle. So is the hype about AI real? Despite the hype, as you can see here, machine learning and Gen AI are still in the peak of inflated expectations, projected to reach transformational benefit within 2 to 5 years from now, which means there is a lot of hype and excitement about the technology, which is great, but there is little proof that it will work. However, there are great examples, of course, of where AI is successfully used, such as in cybersecurity, spam detection, and facial recognition. Also in marketing and customer service, customer profiling and segmentation, in research and ideation and idea generation and evaluation. In also transportation and self-driving cars and aviation autopilots, in medical diagnosis and prediction, also in process automation, manufacturing operations, and supply chain. But despite all of these successful examples, there are more questions than answers about how do we implement strong AI? What does it take for our organization to implement it and create value for the business and for our customers? So today we'll show some examples where AI actually worked to support businesses and communities to help leverage their data and enable them to sift through the data noise and focus on what they really need to accomplish. There are 6 building blocks of the organizational digital backbone, which is all powered by data and insights. We have strategy and innovation, focusing on customer value by creating a culture of experimentation and innovation. Customer decision journey, enabled by deep analysis and comprehensive view of the customer personas and pain points for better value augmentation and delivery. Organizational efficiency with agile operations and capabilities, and cross-functional alignment behind a common purpose. We also need automation and agile processes. Enterprise level digital technology is also key element to support core functions and customer operations. And finally, data analytics to generate usable and relevant customer analytics tied to authoritative data for better decision making. So AI is just part of the technology backbone, right? And the technology building block. But it has to be supported and integrated into all aspects of the organization. Organizations need to create and implement their own AI strategy that works for them to ensure alignment and successful implementation. The AI and data product lifecycle has various components, as you can see here. This includes people, data, applications, and processes, along with supply chain capabilities and customer market ideation. All of these components are to support all aspects of the product lifecycle, from requirement management, concept and ideation, to proof of concepts and minimal viable product, all the way to production and manufacturing processes and continuous support and improvement. And at the heart of all of this lies AI and data, which can power all aspects of the organizational operations. Now that we understood the essential components of the AI and data lifecycle, how do we define a meaningful roadmap for its implementation. The idea here is to think big, start small, but move fast. The first step is a situational analysis of the customers and the organizational needs. What's the impact to the customers and what's the impact to the business? Then developing AI and data strategy to chase and capture potential market opportunities. Once white spaces and target markets are defined, innovation and experimentation can happen where we can ideate, evaluate alternatives, and pivot as needed. Another milestone is organizational readiness, which includes people alignment and training on various processes, tools, and methods, as well as integrating data, software, and hardware to support AI implementation throughout the whole enterprise. This will enable us to support our product launch and market validation throughout the whole product lifecycle, from ideation all the way to impact, or from concept to cash, to ensure that we build the right product for the right market, build it right with the right resources and tools, and build it fast so we don't miss the market window. Finally, we need an implementation, monitoring, and control process in which we can evaluate what works and what doesn't work, and how to scale it and improve it going forward. So remember, this is all about the customer. It's all about people, not about the technology. The idea is to move from technology, strategy, and business processes to solutions that can help our customers, from data and technology to business insights, predictive routing, predictive analytics, predictive engagement, authentication, voice of the customer, customer segmentation, and tailoring of products to targeted customers are some of those good examples of business applications. Let's take a look at a few specific examples of using data and applying AI to drive business decisions. In this example, we used AI and machine learning to enable sustainable growth management and create smart cities. The idea here is that when we plan, design, build, and manage our cities, we need more intentionality to balance the three aspects of sustainability: the economy, the environment, and the social aspects. So we can control growth, mitigate urban sprawl, and keep it within the bounds of sustainability. So there are several factors we can consider when we plan for future growth. Typically, we want to be within a certain distance from certain amenities within the municipal boundaries to access existing infrastructure. We want to be close to transportation networks for better mobility. We want to be close to good schools, parks, recreational areas, and hospitals for better quality of life. However, we want to avoid agricultural land, industrial sites, and airports to avoid pollution. So, based on our preferences, the model can actually assign weights to these factors to reflect whether we are interested in a more economic or environmental view. So, when we let loose on the data and we are able to liberate data, AI and machine learning enable us to make evidence based decisions to enhance the quality of life and at the same time protect the environment. Now, whenever we have growth, we have more pressure on natural resources such as groundwater, especially along these growth corridors, along major highways and on the outskirts of the cities. Knowing these areas where future growth will happen will determine where increased groundwater pumping zones are. The tricky thing about groundwater is that we cannot see it, unlike surface water. You can see the bathtub rings around the lake or a river, so you can respond before it's too late. But groundwater is a different story. It's hidden beneath the ground. So it's critical for us to model it, to be able to peel these layers and see what's underneath. So you can see here, the model includes the digital elevation layer, 1 mile by 1 mile grid, and the locations and depths of the wells in relation to the aquifer. Now you can clearly see which wells are penetrating the aquifer and their pumping capacity. who owns them, and how much water is being extracted. And here's where the magic of modeling and predictive analytics comes into play. AI and machine learning generates pumping scenarios based on the probability of where future growth will happen, historic trends, and future water consumption models. So the blue layer represents the changes in water table and the cones of depression, representing the drawdown. Now, if we take a closer look at this blue layer showing areas experiencing increased water consumption, we can now generate and evaluate multiple what if scenarios and being able to see the impact on groundwater availability the next 30 years or so, starting with the 10 extraction rate, as you can see here on the screen, 20% extraction rate, 30%, 40%, and 50% extraction rate. The most environmentally friendly scenario or the safe yield is the 10% extraction rate, which is often not the most economic scenario. But it allows groundwater to replenish so we do not irreversibly deplete it by overpumping it. Once we showed these scenarios to the community, they were able to see which wells will run dry and when. And they were able to decide for themselves on what they want to do. By utilizing AI and machine learning to simplify complexity, visualize and understand the real impact of our decisions and activities on our planet, we are able to mitigate environmental degradation and irreversible groundwater depletion. This is another great example of how we use technology innovation to predict and respond to natural disasters. And this is an important dimension in planning for future smart and sustainable cities to be able to allocate resources more effectively and efficiently in areas where they are needed the most. Here we will talk about Hurricane Harvey, which is a Category 4 hurricane that devastated the greater Houston area in 2017. Let's take a look at this quick video that shows a glimpse of the magnitude of this hurricane. Our effort to plan for and respond to hurricanes in this area, we created a digital atlas and made it available to the public. And it helped us in charting the course to 2015 campaigns. We informed, involved, and empowered the public to make decisions about what should and should not happen in their communities. We also modeled the different impact zones in relation to the critical infrastructure and population centers. We looked at the vegetative coverage and the different land uses, public facilities, and shelters, transportation networks, and every aspect of the city that would impact the quality of life and the evacuation potential of its inhabitants in case of emergencies. Utilizing the power of AI and machine learning, we generated what if scenarios to understand the impact of the different storm surges on the community. And we created digital twins of the surrounding structures to show the impact in three-dimensional environments. We juxtaposed the results with the spatial morphology of the city, streets, and evacuation routes. This helped identify areas of impact as well as neighborhoods that are most likely to be affected by the storm and get flooded, lose power, or experience road closure following an extreme hydro event like this one. And these things can hinder the work of the emergency crew and the evacuation of the stranded population. So we wanted to make sure that we map it out and understand and mitigate its impact. This technology helped emergency operation centers and these communities create a multimodal emergency and alert system. Knowing the locations of flooded areas, damaged properties, closed roads, and the list of people and addresses impacted. All of this helped government agencies identify the area of impact and to be able to reach out to these communities using reverse 911 systems, alerting them of the danger and pointing them to safe evacuation routes. And this work was very instrumental because it saved thousands of lives. With this in mind, there is still much of our world that remains unexplored and also many problems to solve, problems related to our human footprint and the natural world, and how to achieve sustainable community growth and viable economic conditions to support businesses, operational excellence, and organizational efficiencies. Also, about the relationship between AI and machine learning on one side and human interactions, problems with privacy and security concerns, and dependency on AI and technology. There is also an ethical dimension to this and the impact of these technological advancements on people's lives and work. How much of it could potentially replace our work or augment it and enhance it and create new kinds of opportunities? We clearly need data and technology to help us make these decisions about our planet, about our communities, and our businesses. So I implore you, I entreat you, and I challenge you to find new and innovative ways to utilize data and technology to make our lives better. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your time, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference.